Hey, I'm Caley Alyssa, and this class is going to be all about creating opening and stability in the shoulders and the upper body. I really want this class to help your shoulders build strength as well as flexibility. So remember, if there's anything that doesn't quite feel right, you don't have to do it or just back out of it. But in general, this should be really good and healthy for your shoulders. So go ahead and grab a strap or a shirt or a blanket, anything that can work that's a little bit longer and thinner. You can even use a belt if you have a belt at home. We're gonna sit on the heels just as I'm doing now, and then grab hold of whatever you got and take your arms a little bit wider than your shoulders. So you'll know pretty quick if you need to adjust the grip on your strap. We're gonna have the arms out in front of us and then actively engage all of the muscles in your arms. So try to get the bicep muscles strong, tricep strong, everything working here. You wanna keep those muscles engaged and slowly start to lift your arms up overhead. And then you're gonna begin to bring the arms back behind you. Now, if you're met with resistance at the top, you slide your hands a little wider apart. If you're not met with resistance, you can keep them as they are. All the muscles are really active as you move those arms back behind you. So we're not gonna drop them all the way down, just about 3/4 of the way, and then you'll come back up. So remember, keep the muscles of the arms engaged as you rise, and then we'll take those arms back out in front of us. So we're gonna do this a few times over and over again. You could sync your breath to the movement if you'd like, inhaling as your arms reach up, and then exhaling as they come down. And just do that a few times. Inhale up, keeping the muscles really engaged. Exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. And then also notice too if you're trying to bend your elbows as you do this exercise. So keep the arms really straight with your movement. And we'll do 2 more just like that. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Okay, last time. Inhale, lift up, and exhale down. All right, good. We'll just take that strap and leave it at the top of your mat because we're gonna come back to it in a little bit here. And then come into a tabletop position on your hands and your knees. So we're gonna work with protraction and retraction of the shoulders. I'm gonna have you start by pushing into your palms and rounding your upper back as much as possible. So you're lifting up right between your shoulder blades. The arms are really strong and engaged. And then we'll do the opposite of that. So you're gonna kind of depress the chest down until your shoulder blades stick out of the flesh of the back a little bit. So it's not cat-cow, it's a little bit different than that. We're just working with the shoulders and the upper body. So again, we'll push into the hands and round into the upper back, lifting up right between your shoulder blades. And then you'll depress your chest and let the shoulder blades kind of stick out of the flesh of the back body. We'll do that a few more times. Push into the hands, find that lift. And then let the chest lower a little bit, shoulder blades coming out of the back body. Let's do 3 more. Pressing down. And then letting the chest fall through, upper outer arms. 2 more times. Push down, find that lift. And then just chest softens, shoulder blades move out of the flesh of the back. Last time, push down and round. And then again, soften the chest, shoulder blades stick out of the flesh of the back. And then we'll find kind of a happy medium between those 2 places. And that's where we want to live when we're in our plank position, in our downward facing dog, any other variations. So from here, go ahead and step back into plank position. And you're in that happy medium space. Feel your navel draw in towards your spine, arms really active and engaged. And just hold here and breathe. Working on stability in the shoulder girdle. And then from plank position, we'll push back into downward facing dog. So keep a little bend in your knees, especially if you live in a tighter body. And then once you get into down dog, you can pedal out your feet a little bit, just bending into one knee and then the other. Especially if you're feeling super tight in your hamstrings, you might want to take an extra moment or 2 here just to move. Okay. And then we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out from the mouth as you come back into plank position. Breathe in through your nose, come to dog. Breathe out from your mouth, plank. few more times. Breathe in, down dog. Breathe out, plank. Again, breathe in, down dog. Breathe out, plank. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Now once we get into plank position, you can drop the knees down and we'll lower all the way down onto the belly. So as you come down onto the belly, we're gonna again use the strap here. So the strap will be out in front of us and we're gonna take an underhand grip with our strap. The arms should be about shoulders distance apart. From here, I'm gonna have you place your forehead on the yoga mat. I'm gonna keep my head up so that you can hear me talking, but I want your forehead down on the ground. Now with your forehead down on the ground, activate your legs so you're pushing the tops of your feet down into the mat. And then I want you to imagine you could suction your belly button in and up away from the ground. So I could actually come slide my hand underneath between your tummy and the yoga mat if I was at your house with you. So make sure you have that space. And then the only thing we're gonna be moving is the arms. So I want you to keep the legs super active, your forehead down on the ground, your belly suctioning in and up. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, you'll lift your arms up and pull on the strap. Keep your belly lifted, inhale, lower the arms. And again, exhale, lift them up. Again, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Two more, lower. And lift. Last time, lower. And lift. Now stay lifted. We're gonna hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the strap. Push yourself back into a child's pose. Bring your hips to your heels. And just rest here for a moment. Good, and then slowly we'll find our way back into tabletop. And from tabletop, we'll head back into our downward facing dog. All right, now from down dog, step your right foot up to the top of the mat. We're gonna come onto the fingertips here. So if your hands can't touch the ground, you can always grab hold of blocks and put your hands on your blocks, just to elevate the floor a little bit for yourself. Okay, once you're on your fingertips, the shoulders will roll back, the chest will draw forward. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, lift your belly in and up. Squeeze your inner thighs together so the legs get strong. We're gonna come all the way up into crescent lunge. Now for crescent, we'll take the arms out wide to a T shape. Cross your right elbow underneath your left elbow. And then lift your elbows up off your chest. So coming into eagle with the arms. If this isn't available, you can grab opposite shoulder here. Just make sure your elbows stay lifted in whatever variation you're in. And as you lift your elbows up, keep your core engaged and strong. You might be able to bend the front knee a little deeper, and you might even be able to shift your gaze up towards the ceiling. So you should feel the shoulder blades spreading apart from each other on your upper back. Keep breathing here. Inhale. And as you exhale, maybe sink a little deeper. Try that again, breathe in. And exhale, breathe out, get a little deeper. All right, now release the eagle. We're gonna take the arms and actually bring them down by your sides so the palms face each other. Begin to pull the arms back behind you. So the arms stay straight. Imagine you had a block behind you and you could squeeze that imaginary block. So really activate all the muscle of the arms. Maybe draw a little deeper into the legs. Breathe here for 3, 2, and on 1, gently release. Bring your hands down to the mat. We'll step back into plank position from here. Palms of the hands directly underneath the shoulders. And again, just hold in plank, find that stability. And we're gonna actually transition from here into a side plank. So bring your feet together to touch. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Once you've got that, I want you to lift up and out of your right shoulder and then slowly roll so that you could stack your hips and your shoulders on top of each other. So in your side plank, slide your shoulder blades apart from each other as opposed to letting them collapse in. You want to create even more space in your upper back. And that space will also bring more stability in the position. So now find your breath, slow it down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, come back to plank position. From plank, we'll push right back into our downward facing dog. From down dog, we'll come into side 2. So step your left foot all the way up to the top of the mat. Come onto your fingertips. Roll your shoulders back and your chest forward. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, squeeze your inner thighs together, get your core really active. And we'll come up into crescent lunge on the second side. So again, taking eagle with the arms here, arms out wide to your sides. This time the left elbow goes underneath the right elbow. Lift the elbows up off the chest and bend deeply into the front knee. So we'll be in this variation for a couple of breaths. You can play with the height of your hips here, but I want you to feel that stretch in your upper back as you lift the elbows. Maybe shifting your gaze up to the ceiling. Breathe here. Okay, and then go ahead and slowly release your arms. Just bring them down by your sides, palms facing in. You're going to begin to pull the arms back behind you, engaging the muscles of your back body to do so. Imagine like you had a block behind you, and you could squeeze that imaginary block. Breathing here. So the arms are really working. Last 3, 2, and then on 1, release. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Step back into plank position. Okay, so again, we're gonna adjust in our plank. I want your shoulders directly on top of your wrists. Bring your feet together to touch. Roll into the outer edge of your left foot. And then lift up and out of your left shoulder. Keep that lift and see if you could find your side plank. Once inside plank, spread your shoulder blades apart from each other. So you're creating space in your upper back and stability in the shoulder girdle. Breathing here. Last 3, 2, and then on 1, bring your hand down, push back to plank position, and then downward facing dog. We'll look forward at the hands and go ahead and walk your feet all the way up to the top of the mat. So if you need, you can keep a little bend in your knees. On your in-breath, bring your fingers to your shins, lengthen your spine, and then on your exhale, fold forward. Good. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, so we're going to turn to face the side of the mat now. And again, grab hold of your strap. The strap comes in handy when we're working on these shoulders. So you're going to have a really wide stance. Your legs should be open about as wide as your hands are. So hands and feet in line with each other. And then we'll take hold of the strap in our right hand. So the right arm will reach up, and then that elbow will bend, bringing the hand between the shoulder blade on your back. Your left arm comes out, you'll turn your palm to face back behind you, and then wrap the arm behind you, grabbing hold of that strap. So even if you can interlace your fingers without a strap here, I'm gonna highly recommend using the strap, okay? You'll know why in just a moment. So once you're in this position, that left shoulder blade is gonna wanna stick out of your back. I want you to take the left shoulder blade and soften it into the flesh of the back. So you should feel that open the left shoulder a little bit more here. Your right elbow is wrapping in and then pointing up to the ceiling. And lift your chin and chest up, take a breath. And on your exhale, start to slowly hinge forward from your hips. So I'm gonna be reaching the right elbow down towards the ground, keeping my left shoulder rolling open. And you can stop at whatever extent works for your body. Once you're folded forward, if you can choke up on the strap a little bit, feel free to do that. Now if your elbow's touching the floor like mine, you might just want to heel toe your feet in a little closer together. Give yourself more of a stretch in the hamstrings. And then breathe here. Keep trying to work the left shoulder blade into the flesh of the back. externally rotating the left shoulder. Okay, and then from here, ground down into your feet. Slowly come all the way back up to standing. And then really gently just release the strap, let it rest on your shoulder. Bring the arms down by your sides. Okay, so lift the shoulders up by your ears and then relax them down the back, and just do that a couple times. And then we'll take the arms out wide to the side. So go ahead and turn your fingers down towards the mat and then curl your fingers into your wrists. So you should feel a stretch here all the way into the shoulders. And then we're gonna do the opposite of that. So flex your wrists and push, like you could push your hands away. Arms really strong and active. And then we'll go ahead and release, arms down. So side two, okay. Make sure if you have a little heavy metal buckle, it doesn't hit you in the head. Mine almost did last time, so just be aware of that. So we're gonna hold the strap in the left hand. I'm gonna hold the metal end here. And then once you have the strap, go ahead and bend the left elbow so the hand comes between the shoulder blades. Now remember, this arm is not sticking out here like a chicken wing. We're wrapping it in and lifting it up to the ceiling. That'll help protect the shoulder. My right arm reaches out, the palm turns back, and then I'm gonna wrap that arm behind me, and again, just grabbing hold of the strap, softening my right shoulder blade into the flesh of my back so that I could externally rotate that right shoulder. All right, once you've got that, take a deep breath in, lift your chest up, and then on your exhale, start to fold forward. Remember, reaching the crown of the head towards the ground, reaching the elbow towards the ground. But try to keep that right shoulder externally rotated. And then just breathe once you get there. Okay, we're gonna slowly come back up, so take your time. As you rise, be really gentle with the arms. Just release the strap. Again, you can kind of let it rest on your shoulder, and then we'll roll the shoulders up and relax them down the back, and just do that 1 or 2 more times. And then take your arms out wide, fingers point down, curl them in towards you, and just breathe here for a moment or 2. And then do the opposite of that. Flex your wrists, push the arms away, stand up tall, and then go ahead and relax, arms down the sides. Okay, so we can get rid of the strap. We're done with this guy for now. Come up to the top of your yoga mat, feet touching. And then let's inhale, come into chair pose, Utkatasana. And from chair pose, keep the knees bent, fold forward, bring your hands down to the ground. So we'll plant the palms of the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Your fingers should be turned out a little bit, the arms are straight. I want you to start to see if you could straighten the legs to whatever extent works for your body, keeping your shoulders over your wrists. And then once you've found that, see if you could lift your heels up off the mat. So even if you can't get the legs straight and your knees are bent, you could still lift your heels up with the knees bent. All right? Push your palms really aggressively down into the ground. Get your arms as strong as possible. And then lift your hips up as high as you can here. As your hips lift, you come up even higher onto the tiptoes. We're gonna hold here, pushing aggressively down into the yoga mat for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels down. Good, step back into plank position. And from plank position, lower onto your hands and your knees. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of stretching here for the shoulders. So once you're on your hands and knees, if you have a book or a block or anything at home that's about the size of a block, just have that at the top of your mat. And from here, we're gonna come into what's called Anahatasana. So we'll do this by tenting up onto your fingertips. Keep your hips directly on top of your knees and start to walk your hands out in front of you. Now as your hands go forward, see if you could start to kind of melt your chest towards the yoga mat. So we're keeping the elbows up off the ground, so the arms are really engaged. And as your chest melts down, you might be able to bring the forehead down to the mat. You might even be able to bring your chin and your chest down to the mat. Breathe. And then we'll slowly come back up, walking your hands in. And we're gonna lie down on the belly. Okay, so for this next position, we'll take the arms out wide to a T shape. You're gonna rest your head on your block, looking over that right shoulder. Make sure your arms stay at the height of your shoulders and just slide your right hand in. From here, we're gonna roll onto the left side of the body. Push down with the right hand that's behind you. So you really wanna make sure that your arm is active, all the muscles are working. Your top right leg could step back behind you like a little kickstand for support here. And then this right hand could just stay pushing down into the mat if you feel a stretch in the front of the left shoulder. Okay, or you could reach that right arm up, turn the palm back, and imagine that right hand reaching towards the left hand. If you've got it, great. If not, you just keep it up or pull back to whatever extent feels good in your body today. For this purpose, I'm gonna keep my hand forward here and just work on pushing into the left hand that's behind me. So if this feels really good to you in your shoulders, you can hang out here as long as you want. We're just gonna do a little bit today. And then we'll slowly come back onto the belly, legs together, switching sides here. So I'm gonna slide the block a little bit over to my right, take the right arm straight out from the shoulder, and then look over my left. From here, I roll onto the right side of my body, keep pushing down into that right hand. The left leg steps behind me, and that right hand comes in. Again, you could reach the left arm up, maybe interlace the fingers if you're open enough. Otherwise, just keep that left hand down on the ground and keep pushing into the right hand here. Take 2 more breaths in this position. And then we'll slowly release, come back onto your belly. Just set the block to the side. We're done with it for now. And push back into traditional child's pose. So your hips are on your heels, your forehead comes to the mat. And as your hips are on your heels, I'm gonna have you reach your hands back so they're by your feet. And just let your shoulders drape so they hang really heavy. And then we'll come into a rabbit's pose to finish. So grab hold of your heels, tuck your forehead towards your knees. Push down into your shins, lift your hips up. Stretch between your shoulder blades as much as you possibly can. This should feel pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and slowly release, hips back down to heels, and come up to a seated position. Okay, so to finish class, we'll just do a little seated centering. So cross your legs, rest your hands on top of your knees, and close your eyes. So take a moment to let all the benefits of your practice kind of soak into the body, especially the shoulders. Maybe taking inventory of how class was for you today. What felt good? What worked for you? And notice how good your body feels. From here, bring your hands to your heart, bow your chin down to your chest. Good work. Lift your head up. Nice job, you guys. So hopefully your shoulders are feeling a little bit more open and strong. We'll see you back here next time for more yoga.